This call is now being recorded.
Hi, everyone. I have Brent Phillips with me. We're going to talk a little bit about the employment situation and unemployment and how you try to get your benefits and figure this all out. And Brent, let's talk a little bit about how this really is now an online process. Do people really need to figure out a way to access a computer or go on their mobile phone onto the web and figure this out? And how easy will it be for them to navigate?
Hey, I appreciate you reaching out to us today so we can provide some information. The process is online, the claims application. The first step to filing the claim for benefits is to go online to our website at dew.sc.gov. And from there, you'll file your claim online. You'll follow through the instructions. And after that, all the information related to the unemployment process, from guides to general FAQs, are available on our website to help. But like to your point, it is a dedicated online process.
And for the person who might be challenged with the online world, what should they do? Just kind of find a buddy or a friend or something that can help them maybe do it and figure it out, somebody in their family?
I think anytime that someone may have someone available to help them, that's great. That's always a good suggestion. But at the end of the day, if there's individuals who cannot file for whatever reason and they're not familiar with the computer, we'll do all we can to help them over the phone. It is worth noting the process does take, it could be a little bit longer and there may be other steps required. But for now, we want to make sure we help as many people as possible. But, yes, the best case scenario would be that someone is able to process their own unemployment claim.
And I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with us because I know you guys are super busy. There have been so many people that have lost their jobs who are going to be going through this process. So what are you hearing are the biggest challenges or the parts that frustrate people the most that they're maybe not prepared for? What can you give them a heads up about?
Sure. I think one thing that's really important to note is this is the first time many people have ever been unemployed. For the most part, we're seeing people who've never filed or utilized our services. So not only is it a new process for them, but it's also, a stressful time maybe in their lives as well. So it's a little bit of a double impact if that's true. What I would suggest is please take the time. Our website has been updated with plenty of information. You can call it the COVID Hub right there on the front of our website where you can click and the resources and tools are available and so much information is provided that I really think they can understand the claims process so much better. But I would start just navigating our website to get that information.
Some people, I've heard some different scenarios that we've heard from a lot of viewers, and they're in various and sundry situations. People who encountered the schools being canceled, for example. I've heard from young moms with young kids who were like, I had to quit my job to, take care of my children, and now I found out that I can't file for unemployment. Is that correct, or are there other options for folks like that? What do you know about that?
I think the most important thing to take away from this is anyone can file for unemployment. There's no one who can't. And what we do is from that time someone does file an unemployment claim, there are a series of questions as why they're no longer working and those things that we may have to find out, take more information from. But the bottom line is anyone can file a claim for unemployment and we'll determine their benefits after their claim is filed.
And in terms of what people can expect to get from unemployment, so, as they try in their minds to imagine what kind of money might I still be getting once this process happens, especially those people who've never filed before, what is there a percentage of your income roughly that they're going to be able to expect? Can you help them understand how to sort of think about this and budget?
I think the easiest way to do that would be the maximum in South Carolina is $326 per week. Below that, you may say it's half of what you were making up to that max of $326. But as far as for trying to budget through that, the maximum in South Carolina is $326. And from that, it's all dependent on the previous wages you earned at your employment to determine what your weekly benefit amount is. And after you file your claim for benefits, you do receive notification of what your weekly benefit amounts would be.
So that's good. So pretty quickly, you're going to have an estimate of what to expect and how to figure things out.
That's correct.
In terms of the frequently asked questions, what is the question you get most often?
I think I think the biggest one is what's the requirements maybe after you file your claim, and how do you maintain eligibility? And for those, one thing that's important is those claims that are related to this COVID-19. The work search requirement has been postponed for a few weeks. So that's one of the big ones, but now with that being waived. And the other part is just what's your requirement. You file your claim for benefits to file for unemployment, but then after that, each week you do have to certify for weekly benefits. So I think that's the main thing to keep in mind is, yes, you do file your claim once you've been unemployed, and then after that, each week you have to certify to continue to receive benefits.
And that means what? You log to the computer and do something? I mean, how does that work?
Yep, that's exactly right. The same account that you created, and that would be very important for people to remember, is when they go and create their account to begin the unemployment process, they need to really remember and keep record of what their information is for that website, because they're going to go in there quite often. The information they need regarding their claim will be in their portal that's created, and then so each week they just go back in there to do their weekly certification, answer a series of questions so we can determine their weekly eligibility so they can continue to receive payment.
And so for the COVID unemployed, you mentioned that the time period they're eligible to keep getting benefits is extended. They get benefits for longer than what typically has been offered. How much longer?
No, for right now, there's been no change. I know there's a lot of talk about legislation that may be coming. For right now,
okay.
in South Carolina, you can receive up to 20 weeks of benefits. I know there may be things that have, but we haven't got any guidance on that or anything else to pass along at this point. So for now, we're still at 20 weeks, but that could change quickly as things come down. But for now, it's still at the 20-week maximum, up to 20 weeks.
Right. And if someone has the opportunity to get a job once they filed unemployment, do they have to do any notifying to you, or does that just take care of itself when they do their paperwork at the new job?
No, I appreciate that. There's a couple of things in there, and it is very important that once an individual does start a new job, that they just continue filing their claim. The last thing that someone would want would be to continue to receive benefits when they start the new job and potentially have an overpayment. So it is very important that when someone does start a new job, that they do stop filing their claim. But if they have questions, they can call us, and we can just help them through that process, because the last thing you want to do is have an overpayment when you're just going back to work. But no, it's a good question.
And the other question, how quickly, if I file today, how quickly will I start to receive some money?
There's a couple scenarios there, and it may be easier if we have a calendar in front of us, but I know we don't. So let's just say if you filed a claim today, and I'd like to look on the calendar, but it's usually at this time, within less than 21 days, due to the governor waiving the waiting week. It could be that you were not originally going to get paid for. You would. So that timetable may come down a little bit, but we have 21 days to pay someone. But that timetable should be around 2 weeks. All things being considered equal, they were laid off from the job and there's no other issues associated with their claim. Around that 2 week time would be ideal.
All right. Well, we appreciate this so much. Hopefully it's helpful to people. We certainly are so sad that people are in that boat right now, but hopefully there are new jobs being created. I know you're on the unemployment side, but you guys are also connected with the employment and workforce side, and of course they are listing new jobs. I mean, some new jobs are being created out of this mess, so people can look for their opportunities as well.
Hey, that's exactly right. And on that COVID hub as well, there's a listing there that talks about the jobs and who's hiring in the area. And I think your point is valid. Is even though your particular job may not be open right now, there are employers who are looking for people. And so we've listed that link there as well to try to match anybody up with unemployment. With employers who are hiring in the area.
Well, good luck with everything. Do you know how many people since the crisis has started have filed, COVID claims? Do we know the number right now currently in terms of applying for benefits?
No, we don't have that information at the moment. I'm are.
Okay, I'm sure it's plenty. Sir, thank you so much for your time, and we appreciate it. We'll stay in touch.
Hey, we appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.